สวัสดีครับอาจารย์ครับผม
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. We are waiting for our first participant, which happens to be Jordan from Toronto. Hi, Jordan. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Ajaan. Very nice to see you. My dad's just coming in now.
Okay. When you plan to take off?
My flight is supposed to leave January 28th.
28. Oh, you still have almost a month, huh?
Yes. Just enough time, hopefully, to tie up all my loose ends.
You got all your visas taken care of?
Well, I'm still waiting to hear about that.
I see. Okay.
Hopefully, it will come through in time.
Hi, Trevor.
Good morning, Ajaan.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Have to go back to work today. My holiday is over.
You're not
Christmas
retired.
holiday.
You're not retired yet, huh?
Not yet. That's one of my New Year's resolutions is to, screw up the courage to retire in the early summer, late spring. I can't go any sooner because my work won't let me. But that's the soonest I can go if I can get the courage. And so until then, I go into the office every day.
Okay.
But I've been practicing a lot over the relatively speaking, a lot over the my Christmas break, and really I feel like I'm getting a firm foundation. And I've been reading quite a bit of material on Buddhism whenever I come across. Jordan has some wonderful books here, and just trying to keep up with him a little bit. But I had some questions, and I wrote them down. Just pardon me 1 minute. Oh, yeah. Is it okay to kneel if sometimes I was thinking of maybe kneeling with a little bench underneath. I've seen people do that at meditation retreats, and I wondered if is that gonna?
Well, there is no fixed position for one to use for practice, but basically the Buddha's posture seems to be the best posture if you can do it. Cross-legged position. because
Keep
your
working.
body will be well balanced. It has a strong base of your knees spread apart. I mean,
Okay.
so your body will be pretty much resting on a strong foundation. So it won't move or fall back or something like that easily. But if you find another posture is good for you, go ahead and do it.
I'm getting down there. I've been working on sitting on the floor. I'm sitting on a little foam block because it sort of tilts my pelvis forward. My back can sit straighter. I have trouble straightening my back unless I'm sort of sitting up a little bit, but so I'm getting down there. I'm pretty close to a cross-legged position. One knee needs to go down further, but I'll just keep working on that. Now, I just had some questions about monks. How do you stay? What sort of exercises do you guys do to stay in shape? How do you stay in such good condition?
Well, basically, we go on arms round. Usually, we walk a few miles a day every morning to go collect our arms in the village. And then other times we use walking meditation as our exercise. We can walk for hours sometimes, not one stretch at a time, maybe an hour, and then we we sit and then after sitting, we feel tired from sitting, we get up and do walking meditation again. So we do a lot of exercise, basically just walking. And if you want to do some yoga on your own, there is no rule to prevent you from doing that. If you want to do stretching and swinging your arms and things like that, but preferably you do it in private. You don't want to let other people see your.
I see.
Mm.
Well, that was my next question, because sometimes I do yoga and find that it's nice to sit afterwards. I feel peaceful and I'm able to let go of my
Yes.
body.
According to the Buddha, walking meditation has many benefits for the body. Your body will be strong, healthy, and don't have much. You don't easily get sick. So it's a good practice, and also it is good for your mind because you're developing mindfulness while you're doing walking meditation. But you can do any other type of exercise if you like, as long as you do it private, in your private. Because as monks, we're supposed to look respectful in public, like a president. You want to look, respectable in public, but in private, you want to put on shorts or whatever. That's your business.
Okay. And are monks able to watch, say, for example, your talks on
It
the
depends
Zoom?
it depends on the intensity of practice. If you want to be completely involved with just practice, then you don't do anything else. Just practice walking, sitting, meditation, and you don't if you want to learn Dhamma, usually when you live with a teacher, and the teacher will give you regular Dhamma talks, to give you pep talks to push you, help you, inspire you.
Okay. Okay.
But this is more for the real intense type of practitioner. It doesn't mean that our monks do like this. There are monks who just don't even practice. They just do some scholar studies, and then they do a lot of other things as well.
Okay, and my last question was, what do monks own? What sort of
Basically, we're allowed to have eight items as our possession. which is necessary for our livelihood. First we have the bowl, the baking bowl. Then we have a set of 3 ropes to wear. That makes 4 items. Then we need a belt to tie our rope. That's the 5th item. Then we have to have needles and thread in case of our rope, get torn something, we have to fix it. And that's a 6th item. The 7th item is to have a razor blade for shaving our head and hair. And the 8th item is to have a water strainer. In the ancient time, you go fetch water from the pond or from a stream. So you want to have a strainer in which you don't pick up live creatures with the water. So these are the 8 basic requisites of living for monks. And as far as living quarter is concerned, it depends on where you are. If you live in a monastery, you just take whatever you're given, place to stay. But if you go out in the wild, in the forest, then you just have to maybe make some makeshift shack or something to just, to have a roof to prevent the rain and the sun. Yeah, just like a platform, that we have on the mountain here. Just a platform in which we have a roof but no wall. If you want to have some wall, we use cloth or ropes to act as a wall if you want some privacy in your room. But that's basically as far as living quarter is concerned. Try to find the natural thing we can. If we live in the wild, if we live in a monastery, we just take whatever we are allotted. Food we do by collecting alms around, going on alms around every day, and we only eat once a day, and we use the bowl as our utensil, our plate, and we put up all our food in the bowl and eat. And usually we don't use spoon. We just use hand.
Oh,
Yeah. Ancient teacher, they don't use spoon, they just use hand to eat.
okay.
But modern monks, they usually have some spoon or some plates or some bowls to supplement the utensil. But ideally, if you want to live the most simpler way, you just use the bowl for your food, for your utensil.
And you would drink the soup from the bowl.
Yeah, you just put everything in the bowl and then you scoop it up. Or sometimes you might have a glass to put some liquid in the glass.
Okay. Well, I
But
think
this is something I'm talking about, the forest tradition, which is very small amount of monks practicing this type of practices. The majority of monks you will see are more like lay people. They eat they have plates and they have spoons and and they usually sit on a table or even if they sit on the floor, they usually share the food in the plates with other monks. Yeah. But with eating food in your own bowl, you don't share with anybody. You just put the food that you're gonna eat in your bowl, and once you have enough, then the food that given we pass them down the line. We pick a few, maybe take a few spoons or something, and then we share by passing down the line. We sit by seniority, year of our ordination. The senior monks will get the choice first, get the choice of the food, and then pass on to the next senior monk, and so forth until the end of the last monk.
Hopefully my dad can come and and see how it's done at Wat Yan one day.
Well, Wat Yan is not real Thai forest tradition, but it has some semblance of it, but not, you know. You want to see the real Thai, you have to go up in the Thai, in the northeast, you know, like go to Wat Pa Ban Ta or some places like that. Or Ajaan Suchart, maybe the what you call Wat Pa Nana Chat. I think they are more you know, more pure in their practice. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you. I think I've
Right.
taken up a lot of your time.
You're thinking about ordaining yourself, or just wonder how
No,
your son
I-
gonna live?
Not at this point. I mean, it's a high mountain. I'm still in the valley down in the, you know, not even at the base. So, but no, I'm just thinking in terms of you know, if I can give Jordan anything to take with him, and you know, I thought maybe you've given me some ideas. So thought maybe
I think the best thing is to give him money, because he doesn't know what he's gonna need, and if he really needs something, he can use the money to buy it for him. Because if you give things stuff maybe he doesn't need, and he just waste of your money. But money is like a double blade, you know, double-sided blade. It can be useful or it can harm you. It depends on you know how to use them, how to use it.
well, he's
So you
been
have-
good
Yeah, so
with
he has
money.
yeah, but if you give someone who's responsible and who knows what is good and bad for him, then it's okay.
I trust his judgment with that. No, I was thinking of something that a monk uses, and I think I've already got that covered. I think I give him the razor, you know, the razor, and he can take that with him.
I don't need anything. He just wants to give me something.
But no, thank you very much. I have other questions, but I'll leave them till another time.
That's fine. This is educational for everybody, I think. We used to talk a lot about just meditation and so forth, but we hardly talk about other things. Maybe sometimes it's good to, you know, if someone wants to know something
True,
like
yeah.
this.
Thank
Great
you.
opportunity. Thank you very much, Ajaan.
Okay. You have no question?
Not today. Thank you. I'll try to think of a good one for next week.
Okay. I'll go to Kek Bien So from Penang.
Happy New Year, Ajaan.
Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah. Listening, Ajaan, no question.
Are you in Georgetown in Penang?
I'm in near airport, near Penang Airport,
Yeah.
Ajaan.
Is Georgetown on the island also? Is it
Yes,
located on the
yes,
island?
yeah.
I see.
Mm.
But Butterworth is on the
Mainland.
mainland. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I'll go to Kenneth then. Professor.
Good afternoon, Ajaan.
How are you?
Very well. I enjoyed the discussion there with Trevor. Very good discussion.
Mhm.
Very interesting. I find myself in a similar position to Trevor of trying to get the energy to retire and finish. So I know his situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ajaan, I would like to ask as we start this new year, if you have any general advice for us on how we can try to keep our practice going in the right direction as we move ahead.
Well, you have to set up a goal first. How much you're gonna do, you know? And then maybe you set up a timetable to achieve your goal. And how many hours you want to meditate one day, sitting or walking, you know, and how much austerity you want to practice with your 4 living requisite, you know, how much food you should take, how many meals, and so forth. how much clothing you need to have. Try to reduce everything down to the minimum. This is one way of, helping pushing you ahead. The less you have, the less problem you have to deal with. The more things you have, the more problem you have to deal with them. So it can take up your time, your precious time. You want to devote as much time as possible for your practice, your meditation practice. Everything else is just temporary benefits. They only benefit you while you're alive. But after you're dead, all these things you cannot take it with you. But with practice, you can take it with you. You can take mindfulness with you. You can take samadhi with you. You can take sila with you. These are things that goes with your mind. So you have to, I think you have to prioritize and know what is essential and what is not essential for your mind. Your mind is the real thing that we have to look after, not your body. Your body will eventually stop working. It will die one day. So you look after the body well enough to keep it going, because you need the body to help you with your practice. But you don't want to spend too much time over your body. It's like I said, the Buddha said you only need the 8 atoms for living as a monk. So you have to set up a goal, set up a timetable, how much you want to do, and see if you can achieve it. If you don't, then you just let your mind just do as you please. Someday you like to do it, you do it. Someday you don't like to do it, you don't do it. Then you're not doing as much as you should be doing. Understand?
Understand, and Ajahn, that's very, very helpful guidance. I'll try and follow that.
Yeah. See how many precepts you can keep. The 5 precepts, the 8 precepts. Maybe not every day. Maybe on day when it's convenient for you to practice. You should practice these things. If you haven't yet practiced them, the Buddha said, try to develop things that you haven't yet developed, and try to protect or preserve what you have developed, not to lose them. You just have to keep pushing yourself forward. Do more meditation, and once you have achieved a certain level of meditation, you don't want to backtrack. You don't want to maintain it or push it further up. Until all you have to do is just meditate and keeping the precept. Try to eliminate all the distraction or work that is not essential for your body or for your practice. Just think of the time like a countdown clock. It doesn't stop, right? Keep going, ticking, and you're losing all your precious time, because it's not easy to come across the teaching of a Buddha, and it's not easy to be born a human. Now you have these 2 very good opportunity to be born as a human and to come across the teaching of the Buddha. Next time, if you're back as a human, the Buddhism might not remain on this earth anymore. So you won't have anybody to guide you, to show you the way. Now this is the best opportunity that only happened once in a long, long time. Should not waste it. It's like being lost in the forest and couldn't find your way out of the forest. Just wandering in the forest for years and years until you came across someone who know the way, and he said, "Come on, I'll show you the way. Just follow me," and you can get out of the forest or the jungle, whichever the case may be. We all need somebody to show us the way to out of this samsara, this endless rounds of rebirth. We cannot do it on our own. If we could, we must have done it long time ago already. So we need somebody like the Buddha, which only appears once in a long time. Okay, you have to think like this, and then it will keep you motivated and inspire you to do more practice.
Thank you, Ajaan. Very grateful for the advice.
But you have to know your strength. You should only do as much as you can, and then maybe add more later on. But don't try to overreach your ability. Because you can be disappointed, and then you might just say, "Oh, give up. I give up. It's too much for me." Just do one step at a time. Take one step at a time when you walk. Like Mao Zedong, I think he said that a trip of 1,000 kilometers start with one step. Just go one step at a time and keep walking. Eventually you get there. Just to remember, never give up. If you want to take on this path, never give up. You might want to rest from time to time. You feel it's overwhelming for you. Maybe you need some time to take a breather and regenerate your energy. You should always study or read books about the Buddha, his teaching, and his noble disciples. This will keep you inspired, keep you motivated. All right.
Thank you very much, Ajaan. That's very good. Thank you.
Next, Alvin from Malaysia.
Happy New Year, Ajaan. Good evening to you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, man.
No question.
No question. Not yet.
Okay. All right. Chitima from Bangkok.
การนมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์ meditate every day don't have any question ค่ะ
Okay. How about Philip from Malaysia? Philip?
Good evening, Ajaan. Just got a slight question with regards to the practice. In times when the body is sick, how, for example, just over the weekend, I was practicing, but I had a very bad bout of food poisoning. So it prevented me from sitting for too long because I just really needed to go. What's your advice on this? I mean, it's just only an example. It could be many other things. I mean, I was not really stressed over it. I know that it was part of nature, the body, and things like that. But at one point, the body was just tired, and they said, "Hey, you need to just go and sleep it off, or do some, rest it off." But the sitting for a long period of time, or the walking for a long period of time, was virtually impossible because of the condition. What do monks do, or what is your advice on this?
Well, you have to adjust your practice according to the situation. If you couldn't walk or sit, you can lie down, and also if you can meditate, you can develop mindfulness instead. If lying down and watching the breath might make you go to sleep, then you might have to do do maybe body contemplation, the 32 parts of the body. Or you can do some chanting or do some mantra. And these are something that you can do. But you have to accept the situation that you won't be able to do it as much as when you are normal, when you're not sick. But you don't want to, waste your time, because you can still practice, or you can use your sickness as your meditation object. Investigate the nature of sickness of your body, and you say this body is subjected to sickness, right? Okay, now you are getting it, so you can use it to remind you of the truth that this is something that you have no choice when it comes. It's anatta. It's not under your control. So you have to study the nature of sickness and body sickness. The Buddha said the body is temporary, it's anicca, is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. Now you're seeing one of these things appearing in yourself. So how are you gonna deal with the sickness? Can you deal with it calmly, or can you deal, can you not be affected by this sickness or not? And the way not to be affected is to leave this sickness alone, because you cannot force it to go away. You cannot, you might take a while before it goes away, but you might not know when. Sometimes it takes a while longer, sometimes take less time. So how are you gonna do it in order to make your mind not affected by the sickness? So you just have to look at it like the rain. You maybe the rain just keep falling and you cannot go do anything. So you just have to accept the rain, right, and stay indoor until the rain stops before you go out and do something. So this is the same way with the body. Sometimes it gets sick and there's nothing you can do. If you want to do something, you want the sickness to go away, you become stressful. And if it doesn't disappear, you can become frustrated. You can feel bad. But if you study the nature of sickness, that this is uncontrollable, it's like the weather. When it comes, when it goes, it comes as it likes, and it goes when it likes to go. But when it's with you, you just have to learn to accept it and live with it. Yeah. This is also vipassana, meditation. You do it because you're forced to do, because you're given the examination, whether you're ready or not. So you can use this situation as a way of testing your wisdom, your mindfulness, your equanimity, whether you have this thing in you or not, in order to be able to ride along with the sickness without being affected. As if you're not sick, the mind doesn't get sick. It's the body that gets sick. So how do you teach the mind not to get sick with the body? Not to become stressful when you get sick, when the body gets sick. So you have to understand the nature, the three characteristic nature of the sickness. Sickness can come and go, anicca. They don't stay all the time, but they don't go away all the time. Sometimes they come, and sometimes they go. Can you prevent them from coming? No, you cannot. Once they come, can you just get rid of them right away? No, you cannot. So you just have to wait for it to come and go. But you don't have to be stressful. You don't have to be restless or agitated. Just keep your mind calm. So this is practice. More to the point, really, more than meditating with Buddha or with watching your breath. But here you're forced to do body contemplation. you're forced to do wisdom. You have to force to look at the three characteristics of existence.
Yes, yes, Ajahn. Just to note, I mean, it was quite funny because as you said, I mean, I was contemplating on the pain and the inconvenience and things like that. But the funny thing was actually the external people were more worried than I was worried. You know, they were like checking, "Are you okay? You know, do you need to see a doctor? Do you please eat this and eat that?" I mean, now I understand when Tan Ajahn, when you get sick, you know, a bunch of people ask you, "You're okay."
Yeah,
I
because
understand now.
they depend on you, so they don't want you to die yet. If they don't depend on you, then they don't care whether you live or die.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting texts, you know, everywhere. Are you okay? You know, I'm like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Go to Singapore. Belinda.
Yeah.
Belinda, are you hearing? Looks like she's frozen again. I'll go to Intan from Indonesia. Intan.
Happy New Year, Ajahn.
Yes, Happy New Year to you.
Wish Ajahn always healthy and long life.
Okay, thank you. You can wish, but it doesn't happen, right?
Ajahn, last week, Ajahn say about Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta.
Mhm.
I read the sutta, but many things that I don't understand. Can Ajahn explain from actually this sutta is for lay person and for monk, or just only for monk?
Well, it's for everybody who can practice, who can follow the teaching. But when he gave this talk, he gave to a group of five monks, the 5 ascetics. But
So
anybody can use this teaching if they can understand and then apply in the practice.
So have a different explanation between for the monk and for the lay person?
Some, yes, like right livelihood. You know, for monks, the right livelihood is to go on alms round to collect food, to beg. You know, but for lay people, you might have to go to work as a doctor, work as a nurse or something. But the kind of life the work that doesn't hurt other beings. No killing chicken or cows or whatever as a livelihood.
Okay. In this sutta have two things that we are not worthy to do. So I want to ask to Ajahn, fasting for many days, it is can say self-torture.
If you fast and not meditate, then it's not encouraged to do. But if you use fasting to help push your meditation practice, then you can do it. If you just merely fast and expect to become enlightened from fasting, then this is wrong. But if you use fasting as a means of pushing your practice, sometimes you're lazy, but when you fast, you cannot be lazy. Because you're hungry, so you have to use mindfulness to stop your hunger.
So we can apply. We can practice at home.
Anywhere you can practice anywhere.
Okay. And another things, Buddha say in Majjhima Patipada, Buddha have ability Cakukarani and Abhinya. In Abhinya also have the Cakukarani. So I want to ask, this is the same Cakukarani or different?
Well, the Buddha has achieved many spiritual powers that maybe other enlightened monks might not have. These are more considered to be extra. The opinion, for instance, is psychic power.
Mhm.
And but for a lot of monks, for a lot of who become enlightened, they might not have achieved this psychic power. It's not necessary for enlightenment, for
Mhm.
stopping samsara.
Okay. Can I just explain about Aryo Atangi Komago?
You have to read the translation better. I cannot.
I read the translation, but some I don't understand what is the explanation. Like samaditi, what is the difference samaditi and samasati?
Well, samadhi is right view. Right view is to have the view that your dukkha is caused by your cravings, by tanha. And if you want your dukkha to disappear, you have to stop your tanha. See, this is right view. Why right mindfulness or right samasati is to focus your mind on one object and not to go let your mind go think about other things, like putto, putto, putto. To stop your mind from wandering around in your head, thinking about people and things. You just force it to stay with Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. If you can do this, if you can prevent your mind from thinking about other things, then you have samasati.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
And also one question, Ajahn. In Dukkha Samudaya Arya Saja, what is the meaning of Bhavatanha and Vibhavatanha?
Being and not being. See. Craving for being, like you want to be a prime minister or you want to be married. This is craving for being. And craving for not being, you don't want to get old, you don't want to get sick, you don't want to die. This is craving for not being.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. I'll go back to Belinda now. Belinda. Right? How are you? Okay.
Okay. Today, we start the new year. We have Lompo Suchito from England. Lompo Sumedos, the elder monk. He's in Singapore. We are having retreat.
Yes. Sometimes to be near a teacher can inspire you.
So we've been waking up early. Sorry, this time so I realized I missed that cue.
It's okay. You seem to be frozen then, so I thought maybe something wrong with your computer or something.
I do have one question. May I ask?
Sure, go ahead.
If someone has wrong livelihood, and if he or she dana to the sangha, would the sangha be able to accept if the sangha knows that it is the wrong livelihood? Can the sangha accept their dana?
Well, it depends on how. If someone kill a chicken and say, I kill this chicken and make chicken curry for you specifically, then we cannot accept it. But if this is a normal thing they do in their daily life, they kill chicken and make curry, and then they share part of it.
There's no negative effect on the sangha, right?
No. And no negative on the person who gives the dana either. The person who gives the dana also get the benefit from dana, even though they have a wrong livelihood. but you have to separate them, the two from each other. One is the bad karma and one is a good karma. See? Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn. Very,
All
very
right.
keen. Thank you.
Okay. Go to Gary, also from Singapore.
Happy New Year. No questions for me. This is
Okay. Go to Bangkok then. B. Ravin.
Hi, good evening and happy New Year to you, Prajan.
Yes, it's an old year already. It's second now, 2nd of January now. It's old.
Oh yes, 1 day old. So actually I'm still in Pattaya. I will go back tomorrow. Yeah, it was really good to see you a few days ago and listening to your Dhamma talk.
Mm.
So I have one question today. It's regarding the right livelihood section of the Noble Eightfold Path. If we were to, for example, I think if we were to buy, food from someone that killed directly for us, is that considered bad karma? Is that just considered wrong livelihood and not wise?
Well, if you tell them to kill for you, then this is breaking the precept of killing. I'm not killing. But if you buy food, then buy something that's already dead and not specifically for you, but for anybody who wants to buy it, then this is not, you're not breaking the precept. But if you tell the merchant, I like a cup of chicken tomorrow, for instance, then this is constitute of telling the person to do the killing for you. But if you just go tomorrow and go to the merchant and see if there are any chicken or not, if there's chicken and you just buy it, then that's not, you're not breaking the precept.
Because we had no part in the killing of the chicken.
Right, we have no part. But people will say, well, by eating, by buying, you are encouraging. Well, maybe that's the case, but it's not breaking the precept as far as the precept is concerned. This is usually the argument with vegetarian. They say, oh, you buy meat from a meat merchant, you are encouraging him to kill. Well, we also teach people not to kill also. But it's up to them what they want to do, right? I tell you what to do, and can you do what I tell you? Maybe something you can do, something you cannot do. So ideally, if you can stop killing, then there won't be any problem.
Yes, understand, Prachan. And may I ask a similar question on the right speech part of the Noble Eightfold Path? I saw in the text it says avoid slander and rude language. Is this considered breaking the precept, or is just wrong speech that is not advised?
If you keep the 5 or 8 precepts, all you have to do is not to lie. The other ones are more for the monks, like in the Eightfold Path. This is for monks. Monk has to be more respectable, right? So they have to be careful with the way they speak. They don't want to use foul language, and they don't want to talk chatter, useless chatter. They should talk Dhamma. If they talk anything, they should talk something useful, beneficial. And what they should not talk in a way that will encourage people to hate each other, incite violence, or incite hatred. Speech that can incite hatred. These are the more refined speech, right speech, and it applies to monks, those who are ordained, those who want to follow the Noble Eightfold Path as the monk. And as a layman, you just use the 8 or the 5 precepts. Then all you have to do is not to lie, not to speak falsehood, Okay.
Yes, understood, Prajaan.
All right. Any more question?
Not for now. Thank you, Prajaan.
Okay. Go to Raja from Delhi.
Greetings, Ajaan.
How are you?
I'm very well.
How's the new year? Same like the old year, right?
Absolutely. No difference. Just another day.
The difference is in yourself. If you can make yourself happier than last year, then the new year is better than last year.
Yes. Yes, that's how the first few days, it always starts every year. Oh, this is the new year. And then I think we forget all about the new resolutions and so on, and we slip back into our normal way of life.
Yes.
I mean, that's
For
what
most
happens to
people.
me.
Yeah. But some people, they can make a change, if they find that they've been doing something not good for them, then this year they want to stop doing that thing, and if they can stick to it, then it will be good for them. Once you set up a resolution, you have to stick with it.
Yes, Tanaja. Especially in regard to practice. And as far as, I have a question on sampajanya, which is something, I intend to improve in my everyday life. And I've noticed that it's so difficult. I resolve while I'm walking that, okay, I will maintain sampajanya. But before I know it, within 10 meters or so, it's completely gone and it maybe doesn't come back. And then again, certain days it's slightly better. So how does one improve sampajanya in everyday life, Tanajan?
Intention. As soon as you get up, you have to set up your intention. Today, I'm gonna be mindful. You have to do at the start of your day. Tell yourself what you have to do and try to stick to it as long as possible. So it's always good. It's a good thing to start with your day is to start with mindfulness. Either reciting a mantra or keep watching your body movement. From the time it's lying down on the bed, then sit up and then stand and then walk to the toilet and do whatever it has to do. Just keep watching your body. Don't let your mind go thinking about other things. You can do this because you don't have to think about anything, early in the morning. Or if you really have to think about something, then just stop doing everything else and just focus on the thought about what you have to do. And once you finish thinking, then you should stop thinking and then continue on. As you go, preparing yourself for the day. Try to minimize your thought as much as possible. Reduce it down to the essential only. Thinking about the essential thing you need to know for that day. Then you are developing mindfulness this way. And you can do it a lot easier when you're still alone. But once you start to meet other people, then you have to start talking to them, and then you start to lose your mindfulness. Then eventually your thought will take over your mindfulness. So start the day with mindfulness and try to see how long you can keep up with it, with your mindfulness. Not talking, not thinking, just no mental chattering, not talking to yourself. Just keep watching what you are doing. Or keep reciting the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or if you can recite the 32 parts of the body or some parts of the body, you can do that also. Just to prevent your mind from thinking.
Ajahn, can one, vary the objects? Like, for example, as we get up, just awareness of the postures. Now I'm walking, now I'm sitting, and then on the breath, and then on the sensations.
No, I think you're just on the body, on what the body is doing only. If you're washing, just know you're washing. If you're brushing your teeth, just know you're brushing your teeth. Continue on with this movement, watching the movement of the body only. Don't go to other things. Washing your breath is good when you sit down. When you want to sit down and meditate, then you can switch to watching your breath.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, Ajahn.
All right. I'll go to Penang again. Christine, go ahead.
Good evening, Ajahn. I was having COVID, so I failed to go to a preserving temple last
Okay.
year, and
Now you're well, you can go back to the precept again. Or you don't want to go back anymore.
today I got fever again. This body not well.
Well, look at the fever. Look at it. It's anicca, anatta. It comes and goes as it likes. You cannot control them. You cannot control it. So just learn to live with it. Try to be happy with it, not to be sad. Why be sad? Because you cannot change it anyway, right? Okay. Just say, okay, welcome to my world.
Yeah, and having very strong headache. I don't know why.
Yeah. Just learn to live with it. Don't try to get rid of it. Because when you try and you cannot get rid of it, then you get dukkha. So why try to stress yourself out when you don't have to do anything? Just let it come and go. Because there's nothing else you can do.
And while listening to your talk, I feel very peaceful. Then the sickness also reduced just now.
Well, there are two sicknesses, the body and the mind. What reduces is more, I think, in the mind. You become less stressful and you feel more at ease. So you feel the sickness have diminished. Maybe it's just not the body sickness, but your mind sickness.
Ajahn, I have one question. When I listen to chanting like Long Po Kan Ha, they chant, so I feel very happy and the heart feel peace. Then the tears keep on rolling down and crying. What is it about?
It's the lack of mindfulness. You're not controlling your mind. You let the emotion take over. So you just try to stick to chanting, listen to chanting, and don't let your emotion arise. If it does, maybe you have to use Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Also.
Okay, I will try to be mindful. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right.
That's all for tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll go to Dubai. Apalachita.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Ajahn.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too.
Yes.
Can I help you with anything tonight?
I was just thinking of something like, I guess most of the time I'm realizing more than ever that many thoughts are always there. Some are useful and some are obviously defilements. as a practitioner, what is a good question to ask when a thought arises to say, is this a defilement? Or is there some use for it?
Well, it's very hard if you don't know how to gauge. If you don't have a what you call something to gauge which is good and which is bad for you. So it's better to at first in the beginning you should stop all thought first. And when your mind becomes peaceful, and after you start to think, you can sort out the good and the bad thought, because the bad thought will create stress, and the good thought will not create stress for you. But you want to be able to see this until your mind becomes calm first. If your mind is not calm, your mind is already agitated, so you cannot tell the difference between good or bad thoughts. You might use good or bad thought in terms of good for your body or good for your house or good for your salary, but this is not the kind of good you want. You want the kind of good that keeps your mind calm, peaceful, and happy. So in order to be able to gauge this thought, you have to first calibrate your mind to zero, to emptiness, calm the mind, to make the mind become still. There is at a 0 point. And when you have thought coming up, if it's good thought, it will not cause you any stress. But if you think about anything else that can cause you stress, then you say, this is bad thought for you.
Okay.
So you need to first stop all of your thought first, to still your mind first, to make your mind like water, to make it become still. And then any movement later on, you can tell whether it's good or bad for the mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go to Carolyn according to the caption on the screen. Who are you? May I ask you? Are you Carolyn?
No, sorry. Carolyn is my mom. I'm
I see.
visiting my mom right now. I'm a Samanera.
I see.
I'm Forrest Tong from Boston. I used to
Yes.
join this group a lot.
Okay, I can remember your voice now.
Yeah, it's very nice to see you again, Ajaan. I just wanted to join again to get some inspiration from hearing your teachings. I've been a Samanera for about 4 or 5 months now. So
Where are you?
Temple Forest Monastery in New Hampshire. It's an Ajahn Chah branch monastery.
Uh-huh. And are there many monks beside you?
Yeah, we have about 10 monks,
2
Samaneras, and 1 Pakao.
And the reason you have to be a Samanera first before you can be ordained as a monk.
That's right, for 1 year. Yeah, 1 year as Pakao and then 1 year as Samanera.
Yeah, I think that's the Ajahn Chah's tradition. They don't ordain you as a monk right away. They want you to take your time to immerse into the tradition first, gradually.
Yeah.
Good, which is good. It can also test your resolve, whether you can stick with your resolve or not.
Yeah.
So, did you become a Pakha for 1 year before?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. And so far, I still have the resolve. I would like to continue on. It's been really beneficial being able to practice full time there. And we have a winter retreat every 3 years. So January, February, and March, we're about to have our yearly winter retreat. So there'll be a lot more time for practice.
Yeah, as long as you practice, it doesn't matter whether you're a Pakha or a Samanera anyway, right?
Yeah.
Except the precept might be different, that's all. With the Pakha, you keep the 8 precept. With the Samanera, you keep the 10 precept, plus the 75 code of monastic code of conduct, I think. And then if you become a monk, then you have to keep the 227 rules of monastic code.
Yeah.
So how is your practice coming along?
Yeah, it's good. I sometimes, you know, I get caught into distractions like doing too much reading or sewing or things like that. So I need to remind myself, I think, to just come back to the basics of mindfulness, like what you're teaching. And also sometimes I'm still kind of struggling with trying to figure out what kinds of foods to eat and how much to eat, because it can really have a big impact on my meditation. So, but then also if I worry too much about it, then that's also bad, because then I start worrying a lot. So
yeah, the Buddha said, practice whatever comes to you. Be happy with what you are given. Don't be choosy as far as the four living requisite is concerned. Just take whatever is given to you, what is available.
Yeah, we have a very large selection of different foods available usually. So it's kind of hard to decide sometimes which ones to take.
Try to take the one you don't like.
Okay.
Don't take the ones you like.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the body doesn't know what it eats anyway. And the mind isn't the one who eats the food. But the mind is the one who selects which food it likes to take, to eat. But the body is the one who really eats the food, and the body doesn't know what kind of food it is eating. All the body needs is something to fill the stomach, and that's all it wants. It doesn't matter what type of food.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually I eat a little more than the body probably really needs.
When I was at Wat Pa Banta, we were not allowed to choose the food we eat. All the food that's given, somebody will ditch them in your bowl. Give us a spoonful of food, and then go to the next bowl. So by the time you get all the food, it's all in there, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that seems like the best way.
You cannot choose the food. Ajaan Mahabur said, yeah, he is the first one. He choose the food, then he give the rest of the food to another monk, and ask the monk to put a spoonful of food in each bowl of the monk, all the food. So then you just don't have a choice. Or you can choose the food that's in the bowl, but you cannot choose them beforehand.
Yeah. Tanajan, another question I have. So it's usually best to stop thinking about the past, stop thinking about the future. Is that right? But sometimes, say if there's a situation and that situation arises and it causes you some dukkha, then I find that I start thinking about, oh, why did this cause me dukkha? Like, when this person said this, it caused me dukkha? Or should I just stop thinking about that?
Well, if you're training mindfulness, then you should stop all thought. Don't try to entertain any thought, because it can lead you to more thoughts.
Right.
And it will be hard for you to stop them. They're like roller coasters, They're like a snowball. They just keep increasing more and more. So better just to stop all thought.
Right.
And when you stop your thought, your mind will become empty and your mind become peaceful. And the dukkha that arises will disappear. So it's better to stop your thought than go try to think about what happened, what caused this thing to happen, and so forth.
Okay.
Try to stop your thought and try to meditate as much as possible. Because when you meditate, your mind becomes calm, you become happy. The dukkha disappears. And as soon as you might start to have dukkha, okay, it means you're not mindful anymore. So use mindfulness to stop your thoughts from creating dukkha. Your dukkha are created by your own thoughts. If you don't think, then the dukkha cannot arise.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajaan.
Okay, good to see
Yeah.
you. Anything else?
No, that's it. I'm just very grateful to hear your teachings again and be inspired. So thank you.
Who is the head monk there in your monastery?
We have two abbots, Ajahn Jayanto and Ajahn Anando.
They both ordained in Thailand before.
They ordained with Luang Por Sumedho in England.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Wish you all the best.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Go to Bangsalay with Scott now. Scott.
Yeah, Ajahn. I saw you yesterday. It was busy yesterday. I was further away still. I was there
Yes,
yesterday, so
there were a
it's
lot
good
of
to see you.
people. Yeah.
Yes. I've realised that if I don't get there early, then I'm further and further into the woods. Literally rather than metaphorically. You spoke to me last week. I spoke to you last week, sort of saying about I'm having trouble when I feel put upon by people because I help people and then there's expectations on me. And then I stop feeling so generous of spirit and feel more obliged. And you said to me about basic, like, saying this is the last time I will help you and putting boundary down. And I've done that this week. And it's the strangest thing is learning to say no, feeling very uncomfortable when saying no, because I've always said yes. Knowing no is right, but this new way is just bringing up difficult feelings and sometimes thoughts. When I'm in meditation, I feel I wouldn't say my conscience. I'm in a dilemma because I've just always been a yes person. I've always been a people pleaser. And I've ended up pleasing no one, especially myself. So doing things differently, it's just adjustment. But I've endeavored to follow your advice, but it's just been very, very, it just feels very, very different. I feel very off. I feel good, but I feel off kilt. That's
You have to think of the consequence if you say yes.
Yes.
And if you say no, so which one is better? Which consequence you want?
A mentor I have in philosophy I follow said to me, if it's not practical, it's not spiritual. So basically, it's that thing where, don't bend over backwards to help people. Basically, when all you're doing is bend over backwards to help people who then expect more and more from you, and the more you give, the more they take. So it isn't about bartering or have stuff reciprocated. It's still generosity of spirit. However, gauge who you should be being generous to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to see what the people, if they can afford to be, if they can help themselves, then there's no need to help them, right? Try to help those who cannot help themselves.
And that's basically what it is. There's lots of people, they ask me for some information. Like, for example, this is a complete random one. Someone asked me, what's it like to live in Thailand? How do I go about doing it? So I've given this great big long essay of stuff, which they could have Googled, but I give them all this information. And instead of thanks, a week later, they said, I've read all that. What's the weather like in May? Do they do Airbnb? And I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
I've sent it to a travel agent, and all I did was just try to give advice when it's all available to them. That's a very small example, but
yeah,
I
know sometimes if they can find it on their own, then just tell them to go and look for themselves.
And because I think the ulterior thing I have to watch for then is if I give them all this information and they follow it up, I become responsible if their holiday, their vacation doesn't go right because I gave them because they're shirking their own responsibility.
Yeah.
I believe. Anyway, as you said, happy old year. Business as usual coming up, so I'll endeavour to see you more this coming weekend.
Okay, good. See you then. Bye. Okay, to Jonathan now. Jonathan Wiley. Are you in Chiang Mai now?
Back in Bali now, actually.
Back in Bali already.
Yeah. It was a short trip, but really, really great. Enjoyed Chiang Mai. Enjoyed spending time at the monastery and seeing you again. And my wife mentioned to say that she had very much enjoyed meeting you as well. As my daughter and our nanny was there too. It was excellent. It was a too short of a trip to Thailand, but was very replenishing in a lot of ways. I have one question, maybe two questions actually that are kind of related. My meditation feels like right now I get into a state that feels relatively silent. It's not like a momentary level of concentration. It's more like upachara, but it's not, the mind doesn't fully unify. And so it's a space that has some movement left in it. And to date, I've been focused more like in my meditation, the time in the day when I can sit and meditate and calming the mind as deeply as I can, but that doesn't leave me a lot of time at the end of that. I'm kind of wondering how I can what I should be doing here in daily life. For instance, should I be focused really on like, how can I really get all the way into Apana Samadhi or should I be focused on take it as deep as I can and then switch over to contemplation? So I'm uncertain how to proceed, if I should keep pushing on the edge, because it feels a little bit like a curve that it feels less so at the monastery. I can go deeper faster because I have more time and less things to do and things. But in daily life, it feels it's like this curve that starts to flatten out in my meditation towards the top. And I never quite get all the way to the edge. It gets very silent, but not all the way there. So I think my question is just like, how should I be thinking about proceeding from here?
Well, ideally, you want to get there. You want to get to full concentration if you can. If you cannot, you just have to keep on trying until you can.
Okay.
Don't worry too much about contemplation. You can do this when you're not meditating. But when you meditate, you want to still your mind. That's the main objective.
Okay.
So try to continue on. If you know that you haven't got there yet, just stick with your meditation object. This is the one that will lead you to full concentration. If you watch the breath, just keep watching your breath. If you recite a mantra or whatever object you used for concentration, you should stick with it and don't lose it until you eventually get to where you want it to go. And then it will disappear once you get there by itself.
And I've been feeling that part of what is blocking right now is just lack of like not maintaining
mindfulness. That's right.
Mindfulness throughout the day at different points.
Yeah.
So I wondered whether it would be useful or easier in some easy is maybe not the right term. Useful to switch. I've practiced with either Buddha or the breath, but mostly the breath. But it's not a good meditation object to hold the breath throughout the day as I'm like walking around and focusing on it. But so there's a switch that happens when I get up from meditation where it's switching from the breath to the body and then from the body to the breath. Would it be better to just stick with something like Buddha? So there was a continuous, just maintain the same thing in and out of meditation. Is that worth trying or does it matter?
Well, Buddha is very good in the sense that you can do it all day long, regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Whether you're walking, sitting, standing up, eating, taking a shower, you can keep reciting Buddha. If you know your thought is running away all over the place, then just use Buddha to bring it back to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you meditate, you can continue on using Buddha also. Yeah. So Buddha is a very versatile object of meditation. You can use it under all circumstances. But with the breath, you need to sit down. When if you want to watch your breath, you need to sit down and the body not moving. But if the body is still moving around doing things, then you should watch the action of the body instead. So you can switch around when you're still not formally doing the real sitting meditation. You can switch from Bhutto to watching your body. Sometimes you might get tired of reciting Bhutto, and you just want to watch your body. That's fine.
Okay.
But when you meditate, then try to stick to one or the other. Don't try to switch them, unless you're forced to. Like if you're watching your breath, and after a while, the pain of your body start to become very pronounced, and you cannot no longer concentrate on your breath, then you might want to use Bhutto to help you. Recite a mantra might be able to get you through the pain of the body. By watching your breath, you might not have strong enough mindfulness to stick with your breath and ignore the pain. So you might want to switch to using Bhutto in that instant.
That makes sense. I've usually stuck with one object throughout all the meditations that I do, but with the one exception of if I get tired sometimes and I'm breathing, because sometimes the breathing is just can be very relaxing, and so Bhutto is a little bit more like inspirational, and so I shift over to that. It feels a little higher energy too.
Yes, throughout the day you can switch your mindfulness object. But when you meditate, you should try to stick to just one. Unless you are really find it impossible to stay with that, then I think using the mantra is much more beneficial.
Great. All right, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Sometimes your mind has to go through painful feeling before it can become still.
Mm-hmm.
So the pain is something that you should try to persevere and try to endure and go through it, because it will lead you to a more still mind.
That makes sense. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right. I'll go to Singapore. Oh no, Malaysia. Kafai.
Good day to you, Ajaan. I'm just listening today. Thank you.
Okay. How about Diana from Wales?
Greetings, Ajaan. I have one question. Our body ages, is subject to aging, sickness, and death. But I feel like my mind is the same throughout my life. It does develop, but it doesn't really age in the same way. Is that right?
Yes, the mind doesn't have size, shape, or form, so it doesn't change. It changes in quality, like more content, more discontent. But as far as the aging, sickness, and death doesn't happen to the mind.
Because I don't really feel older in my mind.
No, we're always young, regardless of how old our body is.
Yes, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
That's one thing good about the mind. It never ages and it never dies. But the problem is the mind become a hook to the body, and then thinking that it is the body, and start to feel old with the body, start to feel sick with the body. So this is why the practice come in. You want to separate the mind from the body. The mind is a nature that knows that thing, and that's all it is. It doesn't get old, get sick with the body. It uses the body. It's the boss of the mind, of the body. The body is the servant. The mind is the master. The mind is the one who tells the body what to do. Before you can talk, the mind has to tell the body first, I want to say something. Before you can get up, the mind will have to tell the body first, get up. And the body cannot do anything by itself. It has to wait for instruction from the mind. But the mind is lost in delusion and think that it is the body, because the mind itself has no body, no shape, no size or form. So then it takes the body that it possesses as itself, and then become attached to it and want to keep it forever. And when it doesn't achieve that objective, it becomes dissatisfied, it becomes stressful and happy. So you have to teach the mind to accept the body for what it is. Accept that it's gonna get old, it's gonna get sick, and it's gonna die. Once the mind can accept this fact, then the mind will have no stress. Simple, isn't it? But how to
Absolutely.
do? You need mindfulness to stop your mind from becoming attached, becoming craving for the body.
Mm. I think it's really been interesting talking about the suffering that thinking causes, and it doesn't do us any good. 99% of the time we don't help ourselves at all.
But we don't have to stop our thoughts because no one teaches us how. Only when you come to Buddhism say mindfulness, mindfulness. Stop thinking. Learn to stop thinking. But it doesn't mean you have to stop thinking forever. But only learn how to stop thinking. So once you know how to stop thinking, and when you think about bad thing and cause you stress, then you can stop it. Mindfulness is just a tool to control your thoughts. It's like a braking system on an automobile. If you don't have braking on your automobile, you don't want to drive it, right? Because you can get into a crash. So the mindfulness is like a braking system for your thoughts. When you start to think and you're thinking, making you feel sad or unhappy, you can stop it.
Yes. Good to practice.
And once you know how to stop your thinking, then you can control the direction of your thoughts. Then you can direct it to think according to the truth, which is wisdom. Direct the mind to think in terms of anicca, temporary and uncontrollable. Everything is temporary, everything is not under your control. Then when you can think like this, then whatever happens, you can always say, it's changing. It's not something you can control. Then your mind can accept it. And then there will be no stress, no anxiety, no worry, no fear. Because you know it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. But it's not under your control to make it happen or not happen.
Do you think, the way we concentrate so much on all the bad things that are happening in the news, and do you think it encourages the bad to happen, that everybody spends so much time and energy on it?
Not thinking about the bad thing. It's thinking about doing bad thing that causes the thing. If you're just thinking about bad things happen, and you don't do anything bad, then nothing can happen. But you think and you plan, I want to do something, I want to burn somebody's house or bomb somebody's car, then this is bad because it leads to bad action. Right?
I just think sometimes we watch the news so much, and the news is always about bad things, and it almost encourages the people that want to gain from doing bad things.
Well, some people learn how to do bad things from the news. The news is also a form of education, but it's just not good education as well, because it teaches people how to kill, how to steal, how to rob.
Yes. So we practice not to think so much.
First, learn how to stop your thinking. So in case when you start to think badly, then you can stop it. And then next thing, teach your mind how to think in a good way, in a way that will make you not sad. Is to teach your mind the true nature of things, the nature of things, that everything is temporary, everything is changing. Everything is not under your control.
Mm.
If you can think in terms of this regarding with everything, then you will never be stressful. You will never be sad because you know this is the way things work.
Mm. Mm.
Well, if you don't think like this, you want to think of the opposite. You want things to be good all the time. You want everybody to be happy. You want nobody die. But this is impossible. Right? It's not the truth.
No.
We indulge in fantasy in our mind.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, good. But first, learn how to stop thinking first. If you cannot stop thinking, you cannot tell your mind to think in the proper way, in the right way. Because your defilement still want to think about bad things. Because it wants to get this and get that, it wants to go here and there, do things. And sometimes it has to go and hurt other people in the process to get what it wants, to go where it wants to go. So you have to learn to stop your mind from thinking first. And then when your mind starts to go think in the wrong or bad direction, you should stop it. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, next, we in Czech from Vancouver.
Ajaan?
Hello, Ajaan.
Greetings, Ajaan.
How's your New Year? Is the New Year in Vancouver like anywhere else?
I don't know. I'm only in Vancouver, Ajaan. I'm not in Thailand.
The sun still rise and still set.
And Ajaan, I guess like I have a good reminder for my New Year. My uncle passed away. Like he on the New Year's Day in Toronto, and but it's at 2 a.m. in Toronto, and then in Vancouver is like still the 31st at
Yeah,
11.
still. You're 1
Yeah.
hour, you're 3 hours behind
3 hours
Toronto.
different. Yeah. So it's a good reminder for me that yeah, I'll also die this, and then people around me also will die. Like it's like sooner or later it will happen. And then also the reminder of separation with loved ones.
Yes, the Buddha teaches Buddhists to reflect on this every day as much as possible. We are all subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and separation from the ones we love. So we can prepare our mind for this eventuality when it happens. And we won't be impacted as much. If we don't think about it beforehand when things happen, we just don't know how to deal with it. But the Buddha say, this is normal, like sunrise and sunset. So when somebody die, okay, you say, this is normal.
They have a body transplant. I remember you said about body transplant.
Body transplant. But it takes a long time though, before you can come back and have a human body again. You might have to go and have an animal body for a while. If you do a lot of killing animal before.
Yeah. Or you stay in the spiritual realm, right? Like you
stay in dreamland. Spiritual land is a dreamland. And whether you have good dreams or bad dreams, it's up to your good or bad karma. You can have bad dreams, having nightmares all the time, or you can have good dreams all the time. It depends on the good or bad karma that you have done before you die.
Can you have mixed dream or no? Like either good or bad?
Well, usually it's like they're like two forces pulling the mind one way or the other. If the good karma is stronger, then it pulls the mind to good dreams, to create good dreams. If the bad karma is stronger, then it will create bad dreams. So it's like a tug of war between two forces, good and bad forces, good karma and bad karma. They're the one that will take control of your mind. See, who is the stronger, then takes the control of the mind, manipulate the mind to dream about good dreams or bad dreams.
So, it's different from human. Like human mind is like can be switched back and forth, right? Ajahn? Like
If you have mindfulness, if you when you go to sleep, you cannot switch it back and forth. It's, when you sleep, you're under the influence of the good or bad karma. But when you're awake, you have enough mindfulness to control your mind.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Like when you go to sleep, you don't know what you're gonna dream, right?
yeah. Oh.
So it depends on the balance of your good and bad karma that night. If the balance of your good karma is more than the bad karma, then you have good dreams. If the balance of your bad karma is more than your good karma, then you have bad dreams. Because the balance is still flexible, it's still changing all the time, because every day you do some good and some bad karma. So you keep shifting the balance of the good and bad karma every day. So when you go to sleep, then it depends on the balance, which is if you have more good karma, then you have good dreams. If you have bad dreams, it means you have more bad karma contained in your mind. Simple arithmetic, right? Like accounting, in expenses and income.
And loss.
You can check every day whether you are in the red or in the black, right?
So if you always good, happy, good dream, that means you generally know you're generally doing quite good as a person.
Well, if you do good action, good karma, you're a good person. If you do bad action, you're a bad person. You're good or bad not because of your look or of your status or your family. You're good or bad by your actions. If you kill and steal, you're bad. If you don't kill and steal, then you're good. Not as good as if you also help other people. If you do charity, then you are good. So it's by your action that you are counted, not by anything else. Not because you're American or you're Chinese or you're whatever. Yeah. This doesn't tell you whether they're good or bad. You only judge people by their own action. Understand?
You can't really judge people, but
it takes time before you can know people. You can just judge people by your first encounter and say, oh, he's a good or bad person. It takes a while to see his real action. I mean, how long have you been staying with your husband now? Is he the same as like when you first met him or not?
Something's the same, something's different.
I know, but the first impression then and now, is it the same or not? You learn more about the person, right?
Yeah,
as you live with them.
Yeah, learn
Okay.
more.
When you know more better, you know better whether he's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
I think he should be good, because if he's bad, you won't be.
I will last long time ago, right?
That's why people get divorced. They found out that this person is not good for me. But you can tell when you first met, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's why people divorced or separate.
Takes time. Takes time to know a person.
Because I think is the words can also deceive. Like only
It's
only
only action is can
action.
people can say anything. They can promise you the sky, but they might not deliver it to you. So don't be gullible when people say something. The Buddha said in the Karma Sutta, don't be gullible. Don't believe what they say until you can prove whether it's true or not.
I really love that
Mm.
sutta
Mm.
where Buddha is teaching us very practical advice.
Mm.
Don't just believe, and yeah, you have to test it yourself.
Any question?
I got one question is like for people who achieve like jhana, like before they die, like can they control their mind?
Sure, if they have jhana, they can control the mind.
Oh, okay. So they can go to the like
Yeah,
Brahma.
when they get sick, they just go into jhana.
Oh, okay.
But
Or when
jhana
they
is
die.
that, but jhana doesn't solve the problem of rebirth thing. You just temporarily sort of stay away from the dukkha. You haven't really gone to the extraction of the cause of your dukkha, which are your cravings. Cravings for your body to be well, not to get sick, for instance. When you go into jhana, when you get sick, you go into jhana, you want to stay away from the sickness. You don't want the sickness, you still have cravings. But if you have wisdom, you don't go into jhana, you teach your mind to accept the sickness and live with the pain. This way you stop your cravings, craving for not being sick.
And if you are successful, that means you are enlightened for the first stage.
But you're enlightened and your mind also becomes calm without having to go into jhana. Calm by wisdom, which is long lasting, is permanent. When you're calm by mindfulness, it's temporary. That's why you cannot stay in jhana all the time. After you go into jhana, then you start creating mindfulness. Then after a while, your mindfulness will expire, and then your jhana will disappear, and you withdraw from jhana. If you want to go into jhana, then you have to regenerate your mindfulness again. But with wisdom, you get rid of the cravings, which is the cause of your anxiety and your suffering, your stress. Then you don't need to go into jhana because your mind is peaceful and calm, as if it's already in jhana when there are no stress.
Okay. And Tan Ajahn, for Satipatthana Sutta, like when Buddha compiled this sutta, it's for the monk who already achieved like jhana, or for monk is like novice monk.
But he didn't say which monk. He taught all the first the three levels of practice. First mindfulness, then meditation, samadhi, then after that contemplation on the nature of the body, the mind, the feeling. So it depends on the listener which level they are in. See? So he covers all these three steps for the listener. It depends on which level you're in. Are you in mindfulness level? Are you in samadhi level? Or are you in contemplation level?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Who's next? Levan, I think. Levan. Hi, from Seattle. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think California, Northern California, Marin County.
Taj, I already got the answer from your answer earlier. So I have the same problem. It's like when to think and when not to.
The first
And
is, if you cannot decide when to think or not to think, then you should stop thinking first.
Yeah, but like in late life, there's a lot like planning. There's some level of planning, and sometimes like now I learned that not to over plan for the future because it might not happen. But so I think just maybe planning enough to keep like functioning, and like is that the right thing to do?
Oh, you can plan ahead 5 years, 10 years, but you have to tell yourself that it might not happen. So you have to have different options for your planning. So don't plan with just one option. Plan for if this thing doesn't work, maybe then you have to go to the second option, to the third option. You can do planning.
Oh, so we can do planning. Okay.
But don't be attached to it because it might not happen. But it might happen, but it happen differently. So you have to have different options for your future, right? You might get old first, or you might get sick first, or you might die before you get old, get sick, for instance. So you have to think of the various options that can happen to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn. I don't have questions. Yeah.
Okay. Go to Alfredo. Alfredo, you've been late tonight.
Hi, Bante.
Hi, how are you? New Year? Happy?
Okay, normal.
Normal year, normal day.
Yes, Upeka system.
Okay, good.
No word.
Contentment.
No things, no problem. No contentment. Akaliko, Bante.
Agaliko. No New Year, no old year.
Sandichiko.
Yes,
Eripasiko. Opanaiko. Opanaiko is profound, né, Bante? Is Arupa Jana Opanaiko?
Yeah, bring all the Dhamma inside your heart. The Dhamma you study in the text, you have to open the ego, bring it inside your mind.
Oh, my.
And when you study the various Dhamma like mindfulness or jhana, you don't have it yet. The Buddha said you have to bring it inside, make it happen in your mind. This is open the ego. First, you study about it. Study about mindfulness, study about jhana, study about wisdom. Once you study, then you have to bring this thing into your mind. Make it stay in your mind, like taking medicine. See? First, you go buy medicine or get medicine from your physician. Then you have to put the medicine into your body before your medicine can work. So it's the same way with the Buddha's Dhamma. Before the Buddha's Dhamma can work for you, you have to bring it into your mind. You have to practice to bring the Dhamma like mindfulness, jhana into your mind. Then once it's in your mind, then it will start to do the work that it's supposed to do for you, which is getting rid of all your defilements, getting rid of all your suffering, your dukkha. The Dhamma of the Buddha is like medicine. When you get sick, you go to the doctor and ask for medicine. The doctor gives you the medicine, then you take the medicine into your body. Then the medicine start to work on your body, on your sickness. Then slowly the sickness will disappear. Same way with the Dhamma teaching of the Buddha. It's like the medicine for the mind. You have opanayiko, you have to bring it inside your mind by practicing. Okay?
Okay, Bante.
Nothing else for you?
No, I'm an hermit people.
Hermit guy.
Okay, good.
Hermit guy.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Have
Thanks.
a happy year, okay?
Oh, akaliko bante, akaliko bante.
Okay,
O
good.
peka sister.
Okay. I'll go to Rihanna, then Rihanna, Charlotte.
Yeah, whatever, Bante. I want to ask, what's the meaning that Sotapanna is in Nibbana? Can Ajaan explain?
Sotapanna about what?
Is in Nibbana, yeah.
Can you-
Sotapanna is in Nibbana.
Not yet Nibbana, just the first stage of getting to Nibbana.
What's the meaning?
It's like getting on a plane, but the plane hasn't yet landed, so you have to wait until the plane lands before you get to Nibbana. But at least you get on the plane now, and you'll be there soon. But you have to go through 3 more stages before you get to Nibbana. From Sotapanna, you have to go to Sakidagami. From Sakidagami, you have to go to Anagami. And from Anagami, then you get to Nibbana, Arahant, which is Nibbana. So it's not like flying from one place, you have to stop over, right? You have to stop in this place, then you go to the next place, and eventually you get to your final destination. But you are guaranteed once you get on the plane, they will deliver you to the final destination. But you might have to stop over on your way before you get to the final destination. As long as you don't get off the plane, you'll be there eventually. That's what I call the stream enterer. A Sotapanna enter the stream that will lead you to Nibbana. So you will be automatically pulled by the stream toward Nibbana. Whether slowly or faster, it depends on you putting the effort on your practice. But you will not go anywhere else but Nibbana once you enter the stream. Like when you enter the stream, that will lead you to Niagara Falls. You won't go anywhere, right? You go to Niagara Falls eventually. Okay, understand?
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Okay, we have a few more minutes left for question from email and other sources.
Yes, we have currently about 10 questions at the moment. The first 5 questions are from the assistant Gmail. Question number 1 from Chatney from Toronto. While meditating, after breath becomes shallow, when I moved my attention to the tingling in my hands, I experienced a feeling that I used to get many years ago when I was a child, that my hands felt like growing and expanding as if I'm holding a giant ball. Is this a common occurrence for others too? What should I do if it happens again?
It means you are distracted and you're not meditating anymore. So you have to stick with your meditation object only when you meditate. Don't pay attention to anything that appears during your meditation.
Question 2 is from Kevin from Malaysia. I am 70 years retiree. Ajahn mentioned to observe at least 8 precepts to gain better opportunity in attaining Sotapatti, but I could only maintain strong and firm 5 precepts. I maintain unquestionable faith in the Triple Gem and maintain strong reading and posting of Dhamma in the Facebook. Read and refer to the 4 Nikayas, chant and participating online chanting services, and maintain meditation. Please guide me, Ajahn, how well more can I follow through in my aspiration in attaining Sotapatti?
Well, you have to develop enough mindfulness to get your mind to jhana first. If you cannot get into jhana, then you won't have the strength to resist your defilement. To go against your defilement, you need to have equanimity. So you need mindfulness, and you have to practice mindfulness as much as possible. So in order to have the time to practice mindfulness, you have to give up your other activities, like other sensual pleasure activities. That's why you have to keep the 8 precepts.
The next question.
Okay, go ahead.
The next question is question 3 from Declan from Ireland. How can I let go of a natural revulsion, a sympathy and empathy when I hear of children having limbs amputated without medicine because there's no medicine in Gaza, children being buried alive under the rubble, and all the other horrific crimes and atrocious acts against the most vulnerable of humanity happening there in Gaza now at this moment? There is nobody there or here, all anatta, so don't pay attention. Non-action sometimes is right, but when children are screaming out for help, sitting on a cushion, watching our breaths so that we can teach others, sometimes in the distant future, to let go of suffering, that doesn't make sense either. There's always been atrocious wars and barbarism because of greed, hatred, and delusion. So we should just ignore this as well. This is not in our control. We can do nothing, so leave it, ignore it, and work on your practice. These are probably righteous views and opinions which would change and we should let go of, according to the Ajaans, so that we can let go of our suffering. Isn't that a selfish action in itself? Where are the divine abodes in this?
Well, if you think this is selfish action, it's like eating. When you eat, this is also selfish action. When you go to sleep at night, this is also selfish action, because you're not helping other people to stop the killing. So you have to look at the truth, the reality. Can you stop the world from killing each other, people in the world from killing each other, or not? If you can stop, go ahead and do it. No one asks you to stop. But if you cannot stop, what can you do? Because the more you want to help, the more you will become frustrated and unhappy. See? So you're hurting yourself by trying to help the world when it's not something that you can do, and there's nothing you can do about. So you have to look at reality first. Can you do something about this or not? If you can do it, go ahead and do it. But if you cannot do it, why become frustrated? Why become unhappy? Because it's something that happens, whether you like it or not.
And the last question, and his last part is, where is the metta and the karuna in this?
Well, you do whatever you can. So you help who you can help, and you forgive who you can forgive. Metta is to forgive. If somebody hurts you, can you forgive that person or not? If you can forgive, this is giving metta. And somebody needs help, can you help that person or not? If you can help, then this is compassion. If somebody get promoted, can you congratulate them or not? Feel happy with them or not? Okay, this is mudita. But if everything else fails, if you cannot do anything about it, what can you do? Then you have to practice equanimity. See? Equanimity is also the Brahma sublime state, one of the four. See? So you have to know the right situation to apply which one.
The next two questions are from Samanji. As you mentioned earlier, once mindfulness is well developed, we can fully practice anapanasati meditation. As we delve into this deep meditation, what should we do if we start seeing a bright light? Should we continue?
Just disregard everything that appears during meditation. Just keep focusing on your breath until eventually the mind becomes still and everything becomes empty. Before that, you have to keep watching your breath. Don't go away from the breath, no matter what happens. Don't be distracted, because once you're distracted, you'll stop right there. You won't move forward in your meditation practice.
The next question, could you recommend a meditator's guide, a book, or e-resource if available for those who are keen to develop meditation but unable to reach a proper meditation guru due to many practical reasons?
Well, meditation is simple, but doing it is difficult. It's hard, because you can summarize meditation in just one sentence. Be mindful of your meditation object. That's all. choose a meditation object and stay mindful with that meditation object. Don't go away from it. Then don't let your mind go think about other things. Then this meditation object will lead you to peace and calm eventually.
The next questions will be from Facebook. The first question is Lee Tekwa. Tanajan, when we visit a temple, is it necessary to light joss sticks to pay respect to the Buddha? Or can we just Anjali to show our respect? Is there any difference between lighting joss sticks and not lighting? Thank you.
It's just a tradition that we follow. You know, in order to show respect, you don't need to use candle or flowers or joss stick. You know, you can just bow and show your respect. And if you want to show your higher form of respect, is to practice following the teaching of the Buddha. The Buddha said that the best form of showing respect is to follow my teaching. Patibat Bucha.
The next question is from Neomini. As a layperson while in samatha, in which point do we have to switch to vipassana? I'm having this matter always. Can you please explain?
You can separate the two practices. Don't combine them in one. If you meditate for jhana, don't just do that alone only. And when you're not practicing for jhana, like you're alone sitting by yourself, then you can think about the Four Noble Truths or the three characteristics of existence. But don't do them at the same time or next to each other. Yeah. Do them separately. Know the purpose of your doing. What are you doing at this time? Are you contemplating or are you meditating? If you're meditating, you want to still your mind to get into jhana. Okay. But if you want to contemplate, then wait until you come out. Wait until you stop meditating, then you can do contemplating all you want.
The next question is from Celia. When one is still struggling to have mindfulness and stabilizing the mind, is there a way or a shortcut to become a refuge to oneself so one is not so distressed by external people and conditions when many tough situations appear all at once?
You just have to put in the effort of developing mindfulness. Nothing else can take its place. If you cannot do this, then you won't be able to control your thoughts. You won't be able to control your stress. So, put all your effort in making mindfulness to happen first. Once you have mindfulness, then you can deal with the mental stress situation.
The next question is from Kevin Sim. The mind accumulates good and bad in human realm. How about the mind in its spiritual realm? Does it still accumulate good and bad karma, or it just follows the ripen of good and bad karma performed during the realm of human? Hope Tanajan can clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, when in spiritual realm, you go reap the fruits of your good or bad karma.
The next question, is a casino shareholder a good livelihood? Is it the same for the casino manager? Thank you.
Well, if you benefit from this occupation, it's a bad occupation, bad livelihood. It's a vice. It can ruin people's lives. See? People who gamble sometimes can lose their family, lose their possession, and sometimes they can lose their life. So it's not good to engage in this type of occupation, either directly or indirectly. Whether you're owner or you work for the owner, it's the same thing.
Is it good livelihood as a shareholder of a company selling fried chicken? How about a shareholder of an entertainment company providing karaoke services?
Well, if you have killing chicken, then this is not good livelihood, right? If you contribute to the killing of chicken. But as far as entertainment, it's not considered to be bad. It's not a vice, but it's just something that you have to stop if you want to meditate, that's all. But if you cannot yet meditate, You want to go to karaoke? It's okay.
How would the kind of business affect the karma of the shareholder?
Well, modern livelihood sometimes it's very hard to define or draw the line, because like if you put your money in the bank and the bank loan it to a slaughterhouse, are you complicit with this or not? It's very hard to draw the line there. So I don't know how to really answer this question. So I would just say, look at the immediate contact that you are with, whether this contact has anything to do with killing or not. If not directly, then it's okay for you. Like a bank, the bank doesn't go kill chicken or anything like that. But it might loan money to business that might do the killing of the chicken. But that is too far away from you already.
The next question is from Liana. I feel goosebumps during meditation sittings. Can Ajahn explain why that happened?
It means you have rapture. Your mind has experienced something phenomenon, so it makes you feel have goosebumps. It's nothing wrong with it, so don't worry about it.
And the last question so far is from Sulan. May I ask, how can we reconcile with seeing natural disasters taking many lives? Satu.
Well, just look at for every birth there is every death. So it doesn't matter whether there are disaster or no disaster, we're all gonna die sooner or later. Look at the big picture. Don't look at the small picture. Look at the whole picture. For every birth there is a death waiting. Just look at that way. And then you can reconcile everything that happens in this world.
That is all, Ka.
Okay, and that's about it for tonight. That's all the time we have. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is beneficial to you and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye and Happy New Year.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Happy
New Year
Thanks,
Good
Ami.
night.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, Ajahn. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Kun Admin. Thank you.
ขอบคุณแอดมินด้วยนะ